Welcome back to the Red Dice Diaries, and this is my weekly video log for this week. Now, it's been a fairly quiet week in terms of roleplay. I've mostly been getting ready for my Star Wars campaign, which is taking place this weekend. We had the last session a week ago. I know it's been a little bit of a while since I've done one of these videos. Now, we're going to be doing a reboot of the campaign in the new year. And the basic idea is to have a little bit of a downtime to allow the characters to progress a little more and advance their stories. And then we're going to look at refocusing the campaign. Since, although it's been very enjoyable so far, it does seem to have lost a little bit of focus as it's gone along. So we're hoping to bring it back more to what the Edge of the Empire is supposed to be about, which is the smugglers, the scum of the universe, the ne'er-do-wells, the people who exist on the fringes of Star Wars galactic society. I'm hoping to bring more of a focus into the trading, the smuggling, etc., and things like that, which have sort of got a little bit lost along the way. I think perhaps in trying to sort of capture all of Star Wars in the game, I've sort of neglected the individual flavour of Edge of Empire for a bit. So I've done what I always do in these situations where I think something needs changing in the game. I've canvassed opinion from my player character group. I've canvassed opinion from my player base, and I'm then going to move forward and implement some changes in the new year, consulting them along the way to make sure we all get a game that we're happy with and that we can move forward with. In terms of other things I've been up to, we've just had our first session of Thashif's Dresden Files game, which is taking place in 1950s New York. Unfortunately, we were down a player for that, but I very much enjoyed it. Myself and Jenny, the Rogue DM's characters, were embroiled in this strange affair of this gorilla-like monstrosity, which eventually turned out to be a troll hunting down and killing members of a World War II military unit. Initially, we bust in there after me having to make a deal with a particularly unpleasant demon to find out the location of this killer, in which I effectively agreed to allow the demon to possess my character for a day and do what it will, reasoning that we needed to stop this monstrosity before it killed any more people, especially since I was being pleaded with by the dead spirits of the original victims to stop it before it killed the rest of the unit. So we bust into this guy's apartment using some flimsy excuse, planning to take down this creature. However, as we were fighting, me unleashing the magic of hellfire and wielding magical powers, Jenny's white court vampire unloading a firearm into it, it was eventually revealed that this troll was actually originally part of the same military unit, and that it was killing the other members because it felt betrayed, since during the World War II it had had some secret information and its comrades had turned it over to the Nazis to save their own skin, and now it was seeking retribution. And that led from what was a very simple combat scene, or at least it looked like it initially, into being more of a social scene, as my character sort of understanding, having had things done to him himself that have led to him becoming something slightly more and perhaps less than human, felt a great deal of empathy towards this person who claimed that he'd been tortured and turned into this transformational monstrosity by these Nazi interrogators. So I felt a great deal of empathy for him, and eventually we were able to persuade him to turn himself in on the proviso that we would pass all the details on to a contact of mine, a good cop on the force, who would see that the true depths of what his comrades had done was brought out into the open, and that they would be held accountable for their crimes. And it rounded off our first case in a very successful fashion indeed. And we ended the session with my character retiring back to his apartment, knowing that in a few short moments this demon was going to possess his body, and that then he'd effectively just wink out for 24 hours and wake up later, no doubt in some horrendous situation that the demon had got him into. And that's where the session ended, and I'm looking forward to picking it up next session and seeing how things go. I was a little bit concerned when we started the session because we're actually using Fate Core rather than the slightly earlier iteration of Fate that Dresden Files uses, but it all seemed to run really smoothly. I had no difficulties getting to grips with it. There were a few little questions I had to ask here and there due to slight differences between the versions of Fate, but nothing too detailed, nothing that ruined my enjoyment of the game. Thashif ran a very entertaining game. I'm looking forward to seeing Jenny's character develop more as the game's gone, and hopefully Matthew's character when he can make a session. I'm also looking forward to developing my own. I think has the potential to be a very intriguing and interesting game indeed. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes. And also in the new year, I'm looking forward to the next session of Michael Isham's Heart of the Empire game, which is taking on a very sort of heist-like flavour as our Star Wars heroes are trying to infiltrate an Imperial base on an aquatic world to sabotage some new gravity well technology they've been working on. Technology that is believed to be able to pull ships out of hyperspace and would obviously potentially spell doom for the Rebellion fleet. So really looking forward to that. There's a lot of good roleplay stuff coming up. I'm also still working on my freelance stuff for the Roleplay Tips newsletter run by John Ford, and we're working on a new book which is about kingdoms and creating them within your game. We're publishing a few articles to Roleplay Tips to sort of get a feel of the waters and get some feedback, and I'm really looking forward to working on that and tying it all together. I think we're on our third article now. I'll be writing that shortly. That's going really well. I'm really enjoying that. I've also got a few ideas for a potential sort of Dungeon World campaign generator that I'd like to write as a book, so I'm hoping to get some time to work on that soon, and obviously also keep playing in numerous games and running them. And in fact, I've got one of Whitey's games in a couple of days, which is the latest in his Lady Yoko's Wedding saga. I've played in one of the games before where we defeated an ice sorcerer and we were ready to settle down, but my character has been called back to the wedding party to help see that it all goes according to plan, to meet up with some old friends and perhaps some new ones, and maybe some new enemies. Who knows, but I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's what's been going on so far. That's my video log for this week. I hope if you've enjoyed it or found it entertaining, you'll consider clicking on the red dice up there in the corner to subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you next time. Take care and happy gaming.